February 12th marked the beginning of the 2021 Chinese New Year, also called the Lunar New Year, celebration. This kicks off a 16-day festival celebrating family, prosperity, and happiness. To learn more about the Lunar New Year, check out some of the links below. Red paper lanterns are one of the most common sights during the Lunar New Year. These symbolize prosperity and wealth for the coming year. I'm going to show you how to make your own paper lantern. I opted for the traditional colors of red and gold, but you can use whatever you have on hand. Let's get started. You'll need paper, scissors, glue, tape, or both, and a pencil. Notice here how my two papers are the same size in width and height. You can cut your paper down to size or have a parent or guardian help you. I'm going to begin by making some decorative edges for my lantern. I'm going to fold up on my golden paper to reach about an inch thick. I'm folding the top and bottom of my golden paper so that I have a decorative edge for the top and bottom of my lantern. Notice how the width is about 2 fingers, maybe 3 of yours. Now I'm simply going to cut along that folded line. Note that this step is optional. You can use whatever paper you have on hand, or none at all. Or you could simply draw some designs at the top and bottom of your lantern. I'm using double-sided tape to stick on my strips of paper. You could use glue or tape, it doesn't matter, whatever works best for you. Just make sure that you give that paper a little massage after gluing or taping. As we say in class, this gives our paper grab time and helps it stick together. Now I'm going to fold my lantern long ways and find the center. I'm going to be cutting it into different sections so it folds out. This is almost exactly like the weaving project we completed in class. Notice how I am only cutting up to my little design strip. This ensures that my lantern has a top and a bottom. If I didn't stop my cutting, I would just end up cutting my lantern in half, and my strips wouldn't stay. At this point, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4 cut strips. You'll need to find the center of each strip one more time and cut down the middle to get a total of 8 strips to your lantern. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now I can unfold my paper and see that I'm ready to begin assembling my lantern. This next step is a little tricky. I need to take off just one red strip. I'm going to keep the decorative edge. We'll see why in a little bit. Again, notice how I'm only cutting out my middle color. I'm keeping those decorative gold edges. Now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strips and 1 empty space. Now I'm going to wrap my lantern in a circle. Notice how those little edges we talked about earlier attach from one side of the paper to the other, enabling my lantern to stretch out in a 3-dimensional way. Now I'm going to put some tape, you could also use glue, on each of those little end strips. And just like before, I'm going to wrap my lantern around in a circle, attaching each of those end strips to the other side of the paper. To make your lantern even more unique, you can take a third piece of paper and wrap it into a tube. Then insert the tube into your lantern, making sure that it's hidden at the top edge. You don't want it sticking out at the top, only the bottom. I'd suggest you use a warm color so it looks like fire. See how my tube is hidden down at the top of my lantern? Now I'm going to add a little bit of tape so I know the two pieces stick together. Once you hang your lantern, this part will be hidden, so don't worry about your tape showing. We won't see it in the end. I'm now going to cut that bottom piece of paper into some different sizes of wavy strips. This will give a little extra decoration. I decided to use gold so that in the end, my strips will start to look like actual fire coming out of my lantern. When I'm done cutting, I'm going to fold my strips up at various angles just to make it a little more three-dimensional. Now it's time to add a handle so we can hang our lantern. I simply take a piece of scrap paper and tape it along the inside of the top of my lantern. Again, we won't see the tape, so don't worry if it's visible right now. I'm going to smoosh my lantern together a little bit so that it sticks exactly how I want. I like my edges to come out from the middle quite a bit. And finally, I'm going to put a little bit of tape along that bottom edge so that it sticks a little bit better. This is optional. I just felt like my lantern needed it. And we are done. Now that you have your beautiful lantern, ask a parent or guardian for help, and you can hang up your finished piece to help celebrate the Lunar New Year. Have fun!